Hey there, Steeler Nation. Flip Fisher, staff writer for BehindTheStillCurtain.com. Gonna bring you my 53-man projection. But before I get into that, be sure to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed my content. Be sure to subscribe, and be sure to smash that bell to get notified when I put up new content. Now we got that out of the way. Let's talk about this 53-man roster a little bit. So this is going to tie into my articles, and this is actually going to be a two-part series. The first part will be the offense. And one thing that y'all need to keep in mind is there's some new rules that we're working with this year. And one of those new rules is there's going to be a 16-man practice squad that can also consist of veteran players, up to 6 of them. I'm not exactly sure how this is all going to work. But let me say with that is during the game, or leading up to the game, the day up to the game, I assume, I'm not exactly positive when these 2 extra players can be called up, but the 53-man roster can expand to 55-man for game day. And that being said, it can also expand from 46 to 48 players active for game day. Now, there's one little exception there, is that the team has to have an additional lineman active, offensive lineman active, for that to happen. Now, the team will get 2 freebies on moving a player from the practice squad up. And once a team has done that twice with a player, then when the player is sent back to the practice squad, they have to pass through waivers. Now, I'm going to say right away that I don't think there's going to be much poaching. One thing is other teams have not seen much of these players except for what they did in college. Will they poach some of these veteran players? Well, will the Steelers even have any veteran players on their practice squad? And I don't know. And I don't think a team is really going to poach. They got a huge practice squad of their own. They know what these players are capable of on their practice squad already. So are they really going to poach players? I personally don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen much. I mean, it doesn't happen hardly at all now. All right, that being said, let's roll into the offense, and I'm projecting 25 players on the offensive side of the ball. Now, the very first one is going to be controversial a little bit, because I'm going to go with Big Ben Roethlisberger. No surprise there. And Mason Rudolph. I'm going to say if this was any other given year, I really do think Devlin Hodges would give him a run for his money if, put the big if out there, so I don't get lambasted. Hodges needed to progress in the offseason. That's where I bash on Rudolph. I haven't seen the progression. So anyway, I do expect Hodges to go to the practice squad. At least 1 quarterback. Could we actually see 2? I don't know. Running backs, I expect 4. I am going to go with James Conner, number 1, of course. Took me a while to warm up to Conner, but I'm not going to jump off his bandwagon like so many else do. Don't do that. When he's in there, he's productive when our offensive line isn't terrible. Benny Snell, I liked what I saw, but it just was such a small sample size last year. Anthony McFarland Jr., the rookie this year. I'm going to tell you, I ignored all the tape this year out of the rookies from college. I don't really care what a player does in college. I really don't. Jarvis Jones looked good in college, didn't he? I don't like investing that kind of time. I want to see how these players do in the against actual pro players. I am going to go with Kareth White. Now, I'm sure people will say, well, I just hate Jalen Samuels. Well, I don't hate Jalen Samuels one little bit. I like Jalen Samuels as a one-dimensional receiver out of the backfield. But he cannot run the ball. For a guy his size, 220 plus, whatever, 215, the guy cannot run. The first instance of contact, he is going down. And you don't see him lunging forward when he goes down, like every other running back does. They fall forward. They don't fall in the spot where they just got hit. That's just a sign that he was never a true running back. And it's unfortunate because, he's got such good ball handling skills. But he's not shifty. He's not shifty at all. So I'm going to go with Kareth White, mainly for some of that third down production, because I'm going to say McFarland won't see a single snap on third down, just because he's a rookie. They didn't get any time. It's going to come down to Kareth White and Jalen Samuels on special teams, and Jalen Samuels lost half his special team role halfway through last year. So that's my big. That's another knock on Samuels right there. And of course, we'll keep our, $2 million fullback. Ugh. I just, I don't know what to say about that. It's frustrating spending $2 million on a fullback that will probably not play more than 10% of the offense. He's never been known for his blocking or receiving. All right, I'll bash on him more after the season. Okay, I do expect us to keep 6 wide receivers. Juju Smith-Schuster. I've said this a number of times and wrote a couple of articles saying this will be his last season in Pittsburgh. No matter if he has a good season or a bad season. Good season, which I expect. Good season, he, prices himself out of our market. A bad season, we probably just don't want him back. James Washington, I'm still not quite sold on Washington after his good year last year. But, a good year last year isn't all that impressive. Deontay Johnson, who I do believe is battling an injury right now. I do believe I heard that it's a calf injury. But I think the Steelers are being pretty mum about it, which is no surprise. Deion Kane, who came over from Indy last year. I liked this kid, but he kind of frustrated me when I watched a couple of his some of his film when I was doing film on Hodges and Rudy. He wasn't always paying attention. To what was going on with the quarterback. I would like to see more of him. I just think he's going to be too buried. Of course, Chase Claypool. I've been reading all the hype coming out of camp, how great he is. Yeah, come on, when's he going to see the field? It's going to take an injury for him to see the field. How much 4 wides are we going to do? We just brought in and I'll get to this in a second, we just brought in a second tight end. That being said, I talked about Kane, and I really do. I expect this to keep Switzer. As much as that kind of stinks, we need some veteran presence in that locker room for those wide receivers. My gosh, when you're talking about Juju Smith being the elder statesman, because he's got 3 years of NFL experience, and calling him the elder statesman at, how old is he? 22 still? 23? So you got to have some veteran presence, and no, I'm not a fan of Switzer. I'm not a fan of watching him return on returns, and I just don't think any of the other guys on the team currently are anything but practice squad guys, or even camp fodder. Now to the tight ends. Vance McDonald, Ebron, and Gentry. I didn't like the Ebron pickup. It was just a luxury that I thought we could have done without. He adds nothing to the blocking game. We're still stuck with Gentry. Hopefully he will not be active on game day. Hopefully the other two tight ends who have injury histories will be healthy most of the year. I guess Ebron was coming off his double ankle surgeries. Has looked good. I like hearing that. How much of that is coach speak? I don't know. And see, that's the frustrating part of not seeing any preseason or any training camp, because we have other people tell us that is monitored by the Steelers what's going on in camp. Let's get to the offensive line. There's going to be, I'm sure I'll get bashed a little bit on this, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to go with Alejandro Villanueva, Matt Filer, Chuks Okorafor, and Zach Banner. Look, Zach Banner had 10 pass protection snaps last year. You really want a guy that's battled weight issues? How good a shape is he in? A really funny guy. I enjoyed a interview from BTSC a while back with him. And then, but Filer, I really expect Filer to. I really expect Okorafor and Banner not to really do a very good job at right tackle, and I expect the Steelers to finally realize that Filer's got to go back to right tackle. I'm just worried that come week 1, Big Ben's going to be laying there on the ground because Okorafor or Banner missed a block, missed their assignment, or whatever. We don't use our tight ends to chip. So I really want to see Filer back at right tackle. Now, that being said, let's look at the guards. DeCastro, Wisniewski, and Dotson. Dotson's might be a question mark for the start of the season. So, that being said, I'm not a big... I don't mind Wisniewski at guard. He's played sparingly the last couple of years. But he's played so well, and he's an excellent center. Center, I actually have us keeping 2 though too. Pouncey and JC Hassenauer. Hopefully, I actually said that right. I think with being able to rely on our practice squad a little more, I think that creates some we can get creativity we can get creative with our roster. You know, could the Steelers dump Hassenauer for Jalen Samuels and keep 5 running backs? Yeah, I could absolutely see that. Could they do the same thing with Ryan Switzer? Sure. You know, is Ryan Switzer really, is he expendable? Yeah, I think so. But, you know, this kind of also shows our extreme lack of depth. You know, right now, if Matt Filer's going to be playing on the outside, as crazy as this sounds, Mason Rudolph might be the best option, might be the best backup on the team. Oof, that's scary. You know, our wide receivers, boy, I like our depth, but it's just so unproven with Ben in there. You know, Washington had a tough time with Ben his rookie year. Claypool, or not Claypool, but Deontay Johnson's hardly seen him. Deion Kane, hardly seen him. You know, so that's why he'll probably go to his buddy Switzer. And I just worry about McDonald and Ebron, about them staying healthy. So what do you think? Do you think I'm off base? Do you think I'm kind of crazy here? You know, let me know. Let me know in the comments section below what you think. All right. Thank you all. This has been Flip Fisher, staff writer for BehindTheSteelCurtain.com. All right. Thank you all. This has been Flip Fisher, staff writer for BehindTheSteelCurtain.com. Be sure to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like the content. Give me a thumbs down. I'm okay with that. And be sure to smash that bell to get notified when I put up content. Laters.